You're looking to enhance the quality of your labels and the quality of your packaging. Today, I will talk about spot varnish and screen printing, which are two glossy effects that you can apply to your labels to enhance their quality. Hello everybody, my name is Stefano from Labelado, where we are experts at printing and designing labels and packaging for your products. So if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a graphic designer and you need inspiration for wine bottles, beer bottles, cosmetic products, candles, you name it, then this is the right channel and video for you. So if you didn't yet, consider subscribing to this channel and hitting the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos about making beautiful labels and product packaging and how to sell them to your final customer. So without further ado, let's get through this. Spot varnish and screen printing are two techniques that are used to enhance the quality of labels and packaging. There are various kinds of screen printing and spot varnishes. In this video, I will just talk about the enhancing effect of glossy spot varnish and screen printing on the labels of your products. In this video, I will also show you some examples that we printed for our customers, so you will have an idea of how those two different effects will look on your label. Spot varnish is when we highlight some details in our label with a plain glossy varnish. This is just to highlight some details in our product, but we don't want them to look high build or embossed. The main difference with screen printing is that screen printing actually gives some relief. It gives some embossing effect. That's why we call it also high build glossy varnish. There are many ways to produce these kind of effects, but spot varnish is usually done with flexo printing. So we are creating a polymer, a photopolymer that takes the ink and places it on the label in the details that we want. While screen printing is done with screenies. Screen printing actually requires more ink. That's why it is more three-dimensional. Screen printing is more of a three-dimensional, 3D effect, and that's why it requires more varnish to be done. So that's why screen printing is actually more expensive than spot varnishing. So how can you choose between these two effects? I will tell you some tips that will help you to make a decision. My first advice is that it all depends on the material that you're printing this effect on. If you're going to do spot varnishing, so the effect that gives less varnish to the paper, I would suggest to do it on top of smoother surfaces, so coated paper and plastics. Since we are giving less varnish to the paper, we don't want it to be absorbed. If you're doing spot varnishing on a rough material, on a natural paper, for example, the natural paper will act like a sponge and it will partially absorb the glossy effect. You will probably not get a smooth result. In that case, if you're choosing to do a natural paper, you have a wine and you're printing it on a felt marked or an embossed paper that is made from pulp that is natural. In that case, if you want to enhance some details with gloss varnish, I would suggest to go with screen printing, so high build gloss varnish. Another tip is regarding screen printing or high build gloss varnish. I think your customer, if they are buying your products or if they are checking them, like think at the supermarket, at an expo, at a fair, they are actually touching your product. So you want to give your product some extra touchy feelings, and screen printing is here to do that job for you. So my suggestion is to use screen printing not just to highlight some names, some titles, some details in your product, but actually to create a texture. Like, let's take for example this beer producer. He decided to use screen printing cleverly to simulate the condense, the drops of water, to make its beer bottle, even with even without condensed, to look like a very fresh product. So when people are also touching it, they can feel the embossed varnish, the high build varnish. Here's another example of a texture that can really enhance the quality and the feeling of your label and packaging. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. So spot varnish or screen printing, let me know down in the comment section which one you prefer and what's your particular idea on how to use it to enhance a label or packaging. If this video was helpful for you, please leave a like, and if you didn't yet, consider subscribing to this channel and hitting the notification bell so you won't miss any future videos about creating beautiful labels and products packaging and how to sell them to your final customers. And as always, love you all, ciao!